Good afternoon. It is August 12th, 2022, and today was an uptrend day. You can see the overnight highs and lows. I actually had the overnight highs down here to start, but then it looked like these were going to be the highs because we tested that price level probably 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 times, and you could see some indecision right here, so maybe that has to do with the measured move, but this thing just kept going up today. I think this leg looks much longer than this leg, so let's see. Yeah, and that could be a reason for this indecision too. So we did go higher than that. You can see on the daily chart, very bullish bar today. Here's how I think this channel is. We had this overshoot down here. Now we're working up. I think this channel could be valid. We could be working in a flatter channel such as this, but this one for now is pretty. We have confirmation of this one. We already did have confirmation right here. So close outside, maybe we'll get 2 legs up to a new high. Maybe the overshoot of this flatter channel will pull prices back. We'll just have to wait and see. So let's take a look at the trades for the day. Um, 5 o'clock comes right about here, so we're just in this congestion. Double bottom right here, first entry, failed second entry, short. And me personally, I wouldn't be able to take this comfortably because of this. You can see this sideways action. But I think if you understand what's happening, I think you can take that. This is off of the trend channel with room to the highs of the channel. So I guess just depending on how confident you are that this channel will play out. We did have prices working up in the overnight, followed by a couple legs of congestion and some sideways action. I think it's enough to trap shorts because people might be playing this like a range. And it bounces off the midline of that range. So we get this leg up. We don't quite make a new high. And then we sell off into this congestion. And I marked this trade. Let's see if there's 28.50. So yeah, there's 5 ticks back to the EMA, it looks like. So you might take that because this looks like a failed break lower to me. But I wasn't confident enough because I had the range drawn like this, and sometimes what happens is it's like a person walking a tightrope. When it goes out this side a little bit, then they have to overcompensate on this side. So too many buyers came in, it sold off. And I was just thinking maybe it would go a little further. Maybe we'd get a close, something like that outside. So it's aggressive, but you could take that. 5 ticks back to the EMA. If you measured that, you might take that. Come up here, and you get this lower high after making a new high for the day. You might take that to ride it back to the EMA. It is a second entry short as well. I think it's like 4 ticks back, so I'm sorry. 35.75. Okay, so perfect 5 ticks back. Yeah. So if you see that in real time, this is clearly a break and an attempt at a new high. So you might think about that. Come here and we're just chopping on both sides of the EMA. This is a second entry. Must have been a news item or something. And we get a break here, and this is second entry long. But I think with this very bearish move down, you should at least expect prices to attempt to make a new low, and here you can see that attempt failed. We don't get any failure opportunities in here. You get a second entry right here, but it's an inside bar, and that's 5 bars stacked up, so you don't want to take that. We come up here, and you get this lower high, just like this. It's also a second entry short. I like those entries. I like those entries. However, there is evidence that we could be going higher at this point because we didn't make it to the overnight lows. We're finding support at the midline of the overnight highs and lows. So there's reason to be concerned, but I really like these trades. Plenty of room back to the EMA. 37, couple points. And then you get a second entry long here, but I'm not looking to go long into these highs. And we're chopping back and forth. It's not clear what's going on. You can see that leads to congestion. And I don't see anything in here. I don't necessarily think you would have had this trend line yet. But it does bounce. And you get a failure up here off of a trend line, but I don't like that signal bar. It's far from the EMA. You're going into these highs. I'm not crazy about it. We get an overshoot and a lower high, and there just isn't enough room back to the EMA to comfortably take that. I think you get 4 ticks, or it's a 4-tick failure. I'm not sure, but and I think, again, I think it's too early. Yeah, we made a new high. We're making higher lows, but I think it's too early to go long, especially on a weak signal bar. Oh, that's a third entry anyway. But we go up, we buy into this range. Very congestive. I don't like this. None of that. And then we just start working higher. And unfortunately, there's just not a lot of ways to get in this. I do think this clear channel is, this transparent channel is valid. But I had the spike in channel here. And you can see either way you play it, we get an overshoot that leads to a second entry, or what looks like a second entry, and it goes higher. So you see in the pink channel, we get this overshoot, second entry, it goes higher. And in this transparent channel, we get an overshoot, what looks like a second entry, and it shoots higher. And I think we got a second entry right here. We'll see if it works. It's looking pretty congestive, pretty sideways. So anyway, if you recognize this as a strong trend, this looks congestive to me, but I think this looks like a second entry to me. But you have to take this inside bar. So not crazy about that one. I do like this second entry, even though it's an overshoot of the pink channel. If you have this channel, I think it's pretty good. I mean, it doesn't come and hit the top of this channel, which would make me a little concerned, but I think it's pretty evident that this is a strong move up. And you might take this higher or low, but you're going into the highs at that point. So yeah, this looks like a second entry long. It's very clear that we are in a strong uptrend. You might take that, but you also might have your trend line drawn at this point, because the midline is confirmed. No doubt about it. You can see it starts right here. It's got plenty of touches. So you might not take it. And that takes us into the end of the day. So it's 12:43. Looks like this second entry long worked. Yeah, so that's how I saw it today. We'll take one last look at this. And one last look at the daily. And yeah, so hope everyone has a good weekend. I'll be back on Monday.